Chris, I'm here at the Quick Shop near 17th and Topeka, right near the Kansas Expo Center. Officials say that one clerk was injured after an early morning robbery here. Now, I'll go ahead and let you see the scene here. It is not very active, but I just spoke with an officer who says the Quick Shop is closed until further notice. Well, guys, as you can see here, the Expo Center is empty, but coming up pretty soon, thousands of people will be lined up here to wait for President Donald Trump, who arrives here on Saturday. Now, what we do know is that police responded to the Quick Shop behind me a little before midnight yesterday. They say that a male suspect entered inside of the Quick Shop and demanded money from the clerk. Today is National Pancake Day. We're flipping these pancakes. Woo! Yeah, come get your pancake, your free stack, and make a donation to support the Children's Miracle Network. Bye to you guys in the studio. Topeka Fire is investigating a camper fire in East Topeka this morning. A bipartisan group of senators wants to make sure it's easier to get help in a mental health crisis. And an incident that shut down a Topeka highway yesterday illustrates how important the issue really is. A group effort to brighten the community celebrated its completion last night. Thanks, Doug. Time now is 12:02. A 31-year-old Topeka man died today after a tree trimming accident. The Shawnee County Sheriff's Office says deputies were called to the 3700 block of Northwest Humphrey Road around 8:45 this morning. Officials say Corey Haar, an employee with Capital City Tree Care, died as a result of a tree trimming accident. The Sheriff's Office did not release any other information, and the incident is still under investigation. Well, it's official. Country Stampede will be moving to Topeka with a name change. 13 Sean Weed is live at Heartland Park with the owner of the newly named Heartland Stampede. Sean? Tensions continue to escalate between the United States and Iran after a U.S. drone was shot down earlier this morning. Nicole Killian has an update from Washington. Iran's commander of the Revolutionary Guard warned that while Iran doesn't want a war with anyone, it is ready for one. Well, switching back to local news now, experts say yoga is good for your body and soul, and Kansas lawyers are testing that mantra with goats. Lawyers from the Kansas bar kicked off their annual meeting with goat yoga earlier this morning. It was a chance for the lawyers to take a break, stretch, and get mindful, all in the presence of some baby pygmy goats. The bar says there are staggering stats about legal professionals not taking care of themselves.
As you mentioned, being a lawyer is stressful, and the opportunity to just enjoy each other's presence and enjoy the fact that what we do is important but also fun. It's a great time.
Werner said that they also visited the Evel Knievel Museum and held a golf tournament today, and tomorrow is when they'll get down to business. Well, the director of the Hutchinson Zoo says multiple buildings and playgrounds were hit by flooding last month. That's one story trending now on the WIBW News app. Also online, the Boy Scouts have created a new tactic to fight sex abuse. Plus, a Utah man says a stranger broke into his home to pet his dog. Find those stories on the WIBW News app, free to download on your iPad, iPhone, Android devices, and Kindle Fire. Doug? Rise and shine. Happy Thursday. Thanks for waking up with us on 13 News this morning. I'm Deneysha Richard.
I am Chris Fisher.
We were talking about it during the break, whether we call it carousel or merry-go-round. We both said merry-go-round,
right? But
there's some people who are die-hard carousel fans, and that's okay.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
It's just
However, in Europe, they say that the carousel and the merry-go-rounds, they go clockwise. Here in America, they go counterclockwise. A good fact for the day.
I wonder why we go.
There was an article on Huffington Post that talked about when you should marinate your meat. And when do you marinate your meat?
Like everybody else
right?
before.
Right. So this article says that some of the best cooks in California, they will marinate it after, because it locks in that flavor. I've never heard of it. We're here with Charlene Patton with the Kansas Soybean Commission making some delicious Halloween recipes. It smells so good over here right now. We are making rattling ribs this morning for Halloween. And oh my goodness, Charlene, not only are they tasty, they're very simple to make too. We're back with our Halloween witch expert, Jonna Schmidt, this morning. And this time we're digging in our ears because we're doing something really cool today, Jonna. We are making some earwax.
Hold on. For the record though, No medical professional will tell you to stick anything bigger, anything smaller than your elbow in your ear.
That is true.
Okay, but these are disgusting.
But they're tasty.
Got a natural beauty expert with us here, Janice Cock. You are also an author, and Janice, a lot of people think that you have to have those expensive beauty products in order to be a good beauty product, and you say, that's not the case, and that's what you're talking about in your book and during the Mother Earth News Fair. From the Little Rock Nine to Ruby Bridges in Louisiana, each is part of the story and history of desegregating our nation's public schools.
What do you have to say about this now?
We're very happy about it.
In Topeka, that story involved Sumner Elementary.
You cannot tell the complete story without talking about Sumner.
Sumner was one of Topeka's all-white schools and where Oliver Brown tried to enroll his daughter Linda. 65 years after the Supreme Court's Brown versus Board decision made it possible, Sumner is fading away.
We're proud of all our history.
Once adorned with molded ceilings and pristine hallways, the building is now riddled with broken windows and holes in walls.
People go in and break in. They've had to board up the windows several times.
The California-based Southside Christian Palace bought Sumner School in 2009. With the sale came promises the community says they've yet to keep.
Things fell apart at that point.
Councilwoman Karen Hiller says the relationship with the church started out positive, then the church stopped answering their calls.
It was pretty devastating.
The Ward Meade Neighborhood Improvement Association sued to have the building declared a nuisance and forced the church to take action. But earlier this year, a judge ruled the group did not have standing to file the action, leaving Topeka Sumner advocates at square one. Hiller says the city of Topeka shouldn't have let Sumner go.
The auctioning that they did as they did it was a mistake.
But NIA President Dawn Downing says they don't want to push the church away.
We just wanted to live.
If they refuse, she says, then the community must fight for Sumner's future.
The people, the plaintiffs who were courageous and unafraid to go out and ask for change, demand change, equal opportunity for everyone. We don't want that to get quiet.
To have Sumner sitting there in simple terms, rotting, is just a shame and should be unnecessary.
Please don't forget about Sumner.